The Billionaire Formula. I'm Nate. I'm the FitFutureMD. Upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like, comment, subscribe for more. I'm the owner of Ensorsale.com. Ensorsale is family. Together we rise up from humble beginnings to help others all over the world with the inspirational messages on our t-shirts. Wear your inspiration today and make the world a better place. So, I was listening to Dave Ramsey, while I was working yesterday, and obviously because he's the one of the number one business podcasts or personal finance podcast on the planet, right? So, obviously, if you want to be the best, you look and you see and learn from the best, right? So right now he's the best in the space, like by far, and so you study him to learn from him, right? Not what he says, but what he does, right? So, and yesterday is the first time listening to him that I've ever heard him say on air that the billionaire formula is different than the millionaire formula. It's basically, we can all agree that a 401k is not going to get you to $1 billion, right? Somebody actually did just get to $1 billion in a Roth IRA, which is pretty cool, right? But, technically you can get to $1 billion, like that way, but one out of all, the billionaire formula is different. And this is the way that I preach, right? Is the billionaire formula, right? And this is what I'm doing, right? So everyone kind of has to have a regular job to eat, provide for your family, that kind of thing. But it's what are you doing with your time outside of work, right? And how do you get back your time? So number one is I live really, really close to where I work, right? Or now with the work at home movement, you don't even have to leave home to work, right? So, that's obviously a great thing because you don't want to be wasting your time driving 45 minutes to an hour to work every day, right? And there's people that do that everywhere, especially, the drive from Johnston County, is 30, 45 minutes into Raleigh, right? And some people probably work all the way in Chapel Hill, Durham, Cary, whatever, Apex. And, that's a long way, to drive every day, right? So it turns your 8-hour day into a 10-hour day, minimum, especially with traffic up there, which has gotten a lot better, they've expanded the roads and stuff, but either way, so instead of having an 8-hour day, you have a 10-hour day. Well, I have an 8-hour day, and then 5 minutes there, 5 minutes back, so 8 hours, 10 minutes, right? So I got those 2 hours back in my day. Now, if you're one of those people that does have to do that, then use that time to learn and be the most influential person in that room, right? Whatever room you walk into. So start with simple self-help books. The hard part about doing it while driving is you can't write down the important parts, stuff like that. But you can use your notes section and your, maybe an earpiece or something, and, kind of write stuff down that you think is important or whatever. But, and basically just start improving yourself that way, right? Number one, it starts with your mentality, right? You have to know that you deserve to be a billionaire so that you can help everyone around you, so that you can help your community. Your community, has children that can't afford to go to a camp, you know, you can be that person that, you know, provides for that camp, right? You got a single mother that's about to have a baby, you know, and doesn't have enough money for medical care, or can't feed herself, parents kicked her out, you know, whatever. You know, imagine you actually having enough money to help that kind of person, you know, and what that could do for your community and for the children of your community and the next generation. Because really, it's all about the next generation, right? Our generation means nothing if the next generation isn't successful. And so that's number one. Number one is get your time back, and use your time to better yourself, help yourself, right? All right. So then number two of the billionaire formula is you become a billionaire. All the top 10 in business are business owners, right? They own big corporations, right? And they didn't start out in big corporations. They started out just like this in a garage, right? So I'm in the garage doing these YouTube videos, making t-shirts, right? And, you know, promoting my brand. And that's part of the billionaire formula, right? And the biggest thing is that, you know, you have to believe in what you're making and what your purpose is for making it, right? My brand is not just a t-shirt brand. My brand is to make the world a better place, right? It's to, Ensorsale means to enchant or to fascinate, the word itself. And, you know, so I want to fascinate you to believing in your dreams, right? To enchant you to go after your dreams. And, you know, that's what Ensorsale is about, right? And, you know, but I started out with what I knew, right? Like I knew, you know, I was a big 315-pound man, like, and I needed to get healthy. So I used the knowledge that I had from, you know, weight training in high school. I used the knowledge that I learned from, you know, losing 50 pounds, you know, and becoming the, you know, healthy person that I was before I gained all that weight, right? And then you also have to go into the mentality of why did you gain all this weight? Why were you, you know, overeating all the time, right? So that's what I started. So Dave Ramsey finally came out and said that the billionaire formula was to own a business, right? So, but the big thing about Dave Ramsey is not going into debt. And the reason you don't go into debt as a business owner is because you don't have the experience yet to justify the risk of debt, right? The simple fact is debt is risk. And this is the kind of the key point that internet's being funky today, but the kind of the key point that I wanted to make was that most of the people, so like I have debt for medical school, right? And, you know, not that medical school is necessarily a mistake, but the risk to reward ratio, of maybe becoming a doctor, you know, obviously, but that risk to reward ratio, it may not be, you know, there anymore, right? It's certainly not there. You certainly should never take a student loan anymore. And I certainly agree with that. But I'm going to spend, you know, 10 to 20 years of my life paying for that mistake, right? And that's what you don't want to be doing. You don't want to do your first business, $200,000, $300,000 in credit card debt, or all this stuff that they're preaching, and you end up being a slave for 30 years trying to get rid of it, right? Because what they don't tell you is you're putting your personal finances on the line, right? And when you put your personal finances on the line, that means you owe the money if the business goes under, right? And you obviously don't want to do that. That's not a good deal for you, right? And that's why the bank tries to get you in those deals, because you're personally liable, you know, then you're going to, you know, hopefully do better, right? Or they can come after you, right? But the whole point is that you become a billionaire through a business, right? Not everybody is meant to be a business owner. You need to go into whatever craft you're going to go into and learn how the business works in that craft, every section of it, right? So, you know, the Gymshark guy, right, he knew how to make the clothing and he knew how to market the clothing. But the whole business backside of it, he didn't know. So when they made him CEO, the company started not doing well because he wasn't he had no real knowledge of business. He needed someone to come run the company. And so he hired that out. Everyone's going to have their strengths and weaknesses, right? My strength may not necessarily be the marketing side. You know, my strength may be the operations side. And you hire someone to market, but you have to get to that level, right? So, you know, how do you do that? This is how you do it. You use your time more efficiently and better, right? You use your time better. And so if you wake up an hour earlier so that you can, you know, test designs or make clothing, make posts, right? And time the post throughout the day. But you can become a millionaire investing as a worker, and there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, if you do that for 3 generations, your family should never even have to work anyway, right? If you can make it happen for 3 generations, and you know, teach that on the way down, and that's the Dave Ramsey baby step method, right? But what he teaches is to get out of debt quickly by doing anything and everything you can. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, it's a lot easier to become a business owner when you're free of debt, right? So I'm Nate. I'm the FitFutureMD. I'm glad Dave Ramsey agrees with me. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.